I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all having a lovely Tuesday. Hope you all had a nice Monday night. Betting wise, I did it. I went 1-3, but the one was a bang. New York on the road in Boston gets the big win. How can you not be romantic about playoff basketball? How can you not be romantic about Knicks basketball? Honestly, just so much grit in that team against a city with absolutely zero grit whatsoever. And it showed there in the second half. One team had grit to the core and the other team just didn't. Can't believe they're giving me Knicks +10 in game 2, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. Matt, did you happen to catch the Knicks game last night?
I did watch it. I mean, F the Celtics over everything. So this is not me coming across as anything other than that. My only issue with the Knicks is you win one game and you act like you just won the championship. Like I was seeing posts of Knicks fans celebrating in the streets after a game 1 win against the Pistons in a round 1 series that you're favored in. Like in the caption was like Knicks fans celebrating the victory. That's my only problem.
Are you scoffing at passion?
It's not passion.
That is passion. I'm not going to apologize for caring. We're not going to apologize for caring about our basketball team, Matt. I know Philadelphia, you do things differently. You're a disgusting bunch of people, but we care here.
You're going to say that the Philly fans don't have passion. It's just celebrate when you actually win something. That's my only thing.
We're going to celebrate every win.
Well, Matt, Moda, to your point, I mean, it's been 5 games this season. They haven't won any except last night. So you finally get over the hump, it starts to feel, you feel good.
Any true Knicks fan wasn't surprised. I've been trying to tell people. I've been waiting for this series for 3 years. This Celtics team ain't shit. Been saying it for multiple years now. Been waiting for this series. It's here. Punched them right in the mouth in game 1. I'm sorry. Hopefully we deliver another one tomorrow night. But we're not talking about Knicks Celtics as much as I would love to sit here and just chat about the Knicks. We got to talk about Pacers Cavs game 2. What's the injury updates we got here?
Those guys didn't go through shoot around. The numbers come all the way down to from 10 down to 7.5.
That's crazy. I mean, you have to think.
I don't think they're going to play.
Me neither. And what the hell? You're down 0-1. You can't go down 0-2 and completely
back.
So Cal, real quick. When I was in the same sentiment that you guys are thinking, right? Like, there's no way they don't play being down 0-1. The theory is you always take the team that loses game 1 to bounce back in game 2, and they get stronger when they're a 1 seed. And then I start seeing, I think this was maybe right after I did your show yesterday, Cal. I started seeing some of the I follow the beat reporters and their notifications come to my phone, and they were like, this is what's been reported, but I'm hearing, more severe stuff. And I'm like, whoa, what? Like sprained wrist? No, more like dislocated wrist. I'm like, hold on, what? Like now you potentially trying to rush Garland back? And I heard Donovan Mitchell, even though he's not on the report, isn't 100% either. Evan Mobley, I went back and watched him roll that ankle. It was late in the game. Man, not looking good. I jumped up. Since I'm talking, I played the +9.5 yesterday because I'm just like, even if Cleveland does win the game, I think the Pacers are a really good matchup. Because I think you hit it dead on the nose in game 1. Now, granted, right? We see teams, from a psychological perspective, you already stole one, right? You've already taken home court. So you really got to have that dog in you to come in here and, really fight for game 2 because you know that the home team doesn't want to go down 0-2. But to your point, Cal, it's like, are we expecting some shooting regression from Cleveland? Absolutely. It was the first time they didn't hit 10 threes in like a whole year. But the Pacers are one of the better 3-point defenses in the league. So it doesn't really surprise me too much here. And then also, like, I've always been kind of on the fence about Cleveland having those small guards. I kind of feel like even when you put Isaac Okoro in there, like to bring in the defense, his offense is so terrible that I think that he's going to eventually get played out of this series if he's not knocking down that 3-point shot. because that's who you want to shoot the basketball, guys like Isaac Okoro. So, yeah, I did play Pacers. I typically like to play on those bounce back teams. I don't like the Cavs in this spot, not to win by margin. I think Cleveland guts it out, finds a way, probably slowing down the pace a little bit, playing a little bit better defense, probably try to actually rebound the basketball because they got dominated first quarter and fourth quarter in game number 1. And Cleveland kind of made up for it, kind of had to do something different in the second quarter and third quarter. But I think it'll be a slower pace game because Cleveland won't have all the horses and they'll try to slow down the Pacers offense a little bit. We got to remember Cleveland defense is a little bit better than what they showed in game 1. Indiana should be for some shooting regression as well. They shot 50% from the 3-point line. So
over 50%. Over 50%.
Yeah, I think it was 53%. Yeah. All that being said, I still think that 9.5 was too many. So I played the 9.5 yesterday.
It's tough to argue with a Pacers plus 9.5 ticket, especially holding a couple points of CLV. Can't really argue against it at all. What can you really even say with all the question marks? This is my feelings on the game where you just touched on it at the end. Cleveland's going to slow the pace down. Defense is going to take a step forward. So if everyone played, my bet in this game was going to be Pacers team total under. You can get that at 112.5 now that the line's moved. How can you take a Pacers team total under if Evan Mobley doesn't play? He's the most important defensive, and DeAndre Hunter, another important defensive piece. I don't know how you play a Pacers team total under with those two pieces not on the floor. If Evan Mobley and DeAndre Hunter both play, I think what you said at the end there, Chris, is going to be true. I think Cleveland slows the pace down, and I think they take a step forward defensively. I think the game stays under the total, and specifically the bet would be Pacers team total under. But with those question marks, I do not have a bet in this game. I will put up just the under, because I guess if we don't know who we're going to get from Cleveland and you're saying, put a gun to my head, say, Kyle, give me a bet right now, I would say just take the under. Think the pace slows down. It already wasn't that quick of a pace, by the way. It was 99.5 possessions or something per team. It wasn't an overly quick pace. Indiana was just wildly efficient shooting the ball. And so this is the play I would go. Pacers team total under. But I want to be very clear about this. Not betting it with all these question marks on the Cleveland side. I have a bet in the second game, but I got nothing here. I think this is a really tough one to try to put your finger on. Moda?
Yeah, I would lean toward, I don't bet a ton of spreads. I would lean towards the Pacers in this one. I feel like people are just expecting the Cavs to bounce back and just blow them out in game 2 just because they lost game 1. And I also feel like the people are just severely underestimating the Pacers, because you can make the argument when they made their playoff run last year, that entire Knicks team got hurt, the entire Bucks team got hurt, and they got swept by the Celtics. Weren't they winning every single game at halftime? Every single game was close in that Celtics series last year. Well, I know that's a loser.
Just want to point out that the Knicks were missing 3 out of 5 starters in that series.
That's literally what I said, that the Knicks' entire team got hurt. Okay. If you were listening, Kyle,
I just want to make sure the viewers got it. You brushed over it pretty quickly. I just want to make sure the viewers got it. The Knicks were missing everybody in that series.
Say a little louder when you're talking about the Knicks, Moda, because you got to say it for the people in the back. The people in the back got to be able to hear you, Moda.
I'm just saying, if we get past Boston, dusting up whoever comes out of this series. Dusting them up. See you in the finals if we get past Boston.
See, look how this changed back to a Knicks program. Just that quick,
You're
Moda.
proving the exact reason why this is so annoying. Because you win one game in the conference semifinals and you're like, oh, we're dusting whoever we meet in the conference finals.
Yeah, fair.
Anyways.
Fair assumption.
I feel like people are underestimating the Pacers. Long story short. They're a good team. Their defense is way better than people give them credit for. Like I said, they were winning, I think, every single game at halftime against the Celtics. And I get it, a sweep's a sweep, and that's kind of a loser's mentality. I just don't think that this spread should be 7.5 points, is all I'm saying. The bet that I locked in, unfortunately, and the only one that I actually officially gave out, was Donovan Mitchell 30-plus points. I locked that in first thing this morning before we had any official injury news. I got that at +1 something. It's -118 now. So you're getting a terrible price. Unfortunately, there's nothing I could do about that. Right now, if I was betting with the current lines, if nobody's locked anything in, I really like the Ty Jerome. I couldn't remember his name. 20-plus points. He took 20 shots last game. He was 8 of 20. He was 1 of 4 from deep. And the way you beat the Pacers defense is on the on-ball creation. And if I don't know what's so funny.
No, someone said in the comments, and Kyle says Cubs fans are annoying. That was funny. Because I do talk shit to Cubs fans, and I'm probably being annoying as hell. Don't care. Let me live.
As you should.
Go on.
As you should. But yeah, they just need like anybody who can create on ball. That's how you beat the Pacers defense. Because the reason why they don't get that many threes is because they stick to shooters. So I like the Donovan Mitchell angle because he's going to take 1 million shots. Unfortunately, those odds are nuked, but I think you can still get a decent price on Ty Jerome, 20 plus points. That's at plus 200. So if you're going to play it'd be a half unit.
I have a Ty Jerome under graphic here.
That was something that I talked about this morning. I didn't bet it. It was one of those if-thens. It was on the red short list for me.
Do we have a battle on Ty Jerome points market?
Absolutely not. Not with that injury report update coming out that Darius Garland and those guys probably won't play. Jerome, to Modai's point, Jerome probably gonna take 25 shots. I was of the mindset. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but do we think that, if any of the DeAndre Hunter, the Darius Garland, and the Evan Mobley, I would, not knowing the injury status of any of those guys, like how close they are to playing, I kind of feel like he would be the guy that would be brought back first based on, like them just trying to keep him out for as long as possible. But really kind of like needing him to win this game. I don't know, just doing some speculating, I guess. But yeah, I didn't play it.
Hairston in the comments says, I haven't seen a single Cavs backer yet. And I think that's worth talking about. Now, obviously, who the quote-unquote public is on doesn't matter. I will say this number was sitting clean at 9.5 before the injury updates. It's still sitting at 7.5. Mostly we're polling heavy Pacers. Somewhere out there is some sharp action coming in on the Cleveland side, keeping this market balanced. Now, that's not me. I'm just saying somewhere out there is sharp money coming in on the Cleveland side, keeping this number up at 7.5. Something to keep in mind. But I wouldn't do it.
To your point, Cal, I said this on my show this morning too. When I bet it yesterday, it was to get ahead of the line, to get ahead of the number, because I kind of anticipated that the money was going to come in on the Pacers. I didn't want a plus 7.5 when I could get a plus 9.5. And also, it's like, let's just say those guys didn't go through shoot around, but they all try to give it a go. This probably still going to close 10. You know what I mean? It's probably going to go right back to 9.5, 10. So yeah, then you kind of, just right in the middle. So yeah.
All right, let's move on to the second game, which I did bet and actually got a point here. Got the Warriors at 7.5. 1 second. Golden State, Minnesota. I got the Warriors at 7.5. Looks like it's at 6.5 now. You love to see it. 208.5 is where the total was sitting as of an hour ago. Let's get the poll going. Golden State on the road to Minnesota for game 1. And I am on Golden State plus 7.5. The graphic is probably going to say 6.5. Let's see. Yeah, graphic says 6.5. I'm on Golden State plus 7.5. So basically, to summarize, I already know what Chris is about to talk about. He's going to talk about the unrested team coming off game 7, the historical trends. You fade the unrested team, just a day's rest coming off game 7. You bet the rested team in game 1, especially if they're at home. I know the history. I know the trends. I'm sure Chris is about to share it with us. I just think the market's overplaying their hand a little bit. Now that it's at 6.5, it's getting a little closer. I think it should be at 5, 5.5 tops. I mean, you got to keep in mind the way Golden State has played since acquiring Jimmy Butler. They've been one of the best teams in the NBA since that moment. Maybe not the best team in the NBA, but they've been elite offensively. They've been great defensively as well. They've been a top 5 to top 8 team in basketball since acquiring Jimmy Butler. So the reason I'm bringing this up, let's say there's no rest advantage here. Let's say Golden State didn't come off the game 7. How are we pricing this game if both teams had equal rest? Because I personally think it would be pretty equal on a neutral floor. So maybe Minnesota -2, Minnesota -2.5 tops if there was no rest advantage. Okay, there is a rest advantage, though, and it's significant. You move the handicap, 3.5, 4 points towards Minnesota? I'm still only at 5.5. So when I saw that 7.5, I personally thought the market was overplaying their hand, betting that Minnesota game, betting that Minnesota number up. So I grabbed the Golden State at the plus 7.5. I have it at 5.5. So it's at Golden State plus 6.5. Is it still worth betting? Sure. I mean, look, it's the playoffs. You can't be betting sides and totals in NBA playoffs and expecting to get huge plus EV positions. It's just not realistic. It's like betting NFL sides and totals Sunday morning at 11:30. You're just not going to get many plus EV positions. But I'm on Golden State plus 7.5. Like I said, I have it at 5.5. So theoretically, that is a solid bet. We'll see. Fading the rest. Chris, Are you fading the rest?
I am not, Cal, but this would be a spot that I would be with you. I would be with you. I wouldn't lay, especially if I could get a 7.5. The thing that scares me is because I agree with everything that you said, and like I said, if I had to make a bet, I would be. You could put Golden State up for me too. But the reason that it scares me, Cal, is because of how much energy they exerted. And when we've seen Golden State like let up, they've really let up, Cal. You go back to the games that they lost against Houston. I mean, just turnover after turnover leading to easy points, which leads me to the total. I do think while both of these teams are top 10 defensive rated teams post All-Star break, both teams are also pretty good offensively. I do think that we kind of need to see how this one plays out, which is why I didn't play the spread either. It's a lot of cross matches. Like, I'm interested to see what happens with Rudy Gobert, like with him trying to guard Steph. I'm interested to see if they box and one Steph the way Houston did in the last game, or if they just try to put a lengthy defender like Jaden McDaniels on him as well. We also didn't get a chance to see in the 4 games that they've played so far this season. We didn't get to see Jimmy Butler play in any of those games. So I'm interested to see how all of that plays out. What I think it does, I think it lends itself to an over, just for the first game, because I think that this will be played. I think Golden State will contribute to some turnovers, which will allow Minnesota to be able to get out in transition. I do think Golden State's offense is a lot more dynamic with Jimmy being there, being a playmaker, so that they're not just shooting a bunch of 3-pointers. It's going to be very interesting to see what they put on Jimmy. So yeah, I think we sneak up and over the total. It was at 207.5, I think is what it opened at, all the way up to 210. I didn't play that either. Only official play for me is Indiana plus the 9.5, but those are the ways that I'm thinking, Kyle. I didn't bet this one. Kind of want to bet game 2 based on how game 1 finishes, though.
Yeah, I have a Minnesota team total over graphic that I believe is yours, right?
That's the way that I would look at it.
What about Matt?
I didn't actually bet it, but I would actually disagree with you guys. I would go with the Timberwolves. The rest advantage I think is big. The physicality on the Timberwolves, the Timberwolves aren't just like a better in almost every facet version of the Rockets that can actually score. Like, the biggest issue with the Rockets was they couldn't do anything offensively, and now you have like one of the top 5 offensive scorers that can actually get his own bucket. I think the physicality is. Well, you disagree?
Well, I think the Rockets are a better rebounding team and maybe a slightly better defense, and I think the Rockets do a lot of things better than Minnesota. But I do agree that there is some similarities.
It's more so just the physicality. Like, you just have some like Julius Randle throwing elbows. You got Nickeil Alexander-Walker can play defense. You have the McDaniels kid can play defense. Naz Reid off the bench. I just think that the Timberwolves are just a better version of the Rockets. Again, I didn't actually bet that. And the other play that I have, the only official bet that I actually, like I said, placed was the Donovan Mitchell one. I like fading Rudy Gobert in this spot, even though I think Minnesota covers. I like fading Rudy Gobert. I feel like everybody's going to look at that 27 and 24 performance from Game 5 and just be like, oh my God, Rudy Gobert's dominating. Look at his stats from games 1 through 4. He didn't play in the fourth quarter. Like, he got benched. Like, the Lakers went small and the Timberwolves matched it. Now, maybe they think they solved something in Game 5 and they're going to hope that they get that out of Rudy Gobert. I'm not necessarily buying that. Again, his stats in games 1 through 4, he didn't do anything. Like, he didn't even have a double-double in any of them. And in games 1 through 3, he didn't even have 10 rebounds or points in either of those 2 categories. So I just think he's going to get played off the floor. In terms of his actual performance against the Warriors, he's 2 of 4 in terms of the over/under on the year. So there's not a ton of insights there. This is just kind of me calling my shot, thinking that his playing time is going to be a little bit down. The most confident play that I have is Donovan Mitchell. These both were leans, but I did want to have something in this one.
Cool.
Hey, real quick, Moda, would you play points under or points plus rebounds under, because you think both will be impacted by his limited minutes?
So I combined the 2, points plus rebounds. I wanted to just do PRA and just take everything, but I actually kind of think his assists could go over, and I don't want to be screwed like if he has a random like because they just double him down low and he just dumps off 5 assists. So it'd be the points and the rebounds.
Wow.
Shout out to Prop Beaver. Dude, shout out to Prop Beaver with the Rudy Gobert over assist. Yeah, don't play it over.
These comments today, Modai is preaching today. Very compelling. I love when Modai talks Timberwolves. This is from a Minnesota fan. Modai's using his head and not being emotional. What? Why is someone gassing Modai?
If you scroll back a little bit more, somebody said that Chris and I sound like we were on the Celtics last night, and then said, "Aren't they supposed to be professional?" I didn't have a play on the spread. I want the Knicks to win the series. Let me be very clear.
That was my only win too. The only thing I played was Derek White over his points yesterday, and that was a winner. Thank God.
Jalen Brunson 3+3s was plus 132. The easiest play of my life. That's the only bet that I locked in. That one cash.
We have a clip request from Modai's Minnesota pick.
These messages were brought to you by Fake Sharp Incorporated.
Hey, Modai, just so you know, last time Kyle played that for me last week, it was Houston plus 5.5 in Game 6, and they won outright. So
by like 40.
Yeah, you may be right.
There you go.
All right, Chris, enjoy your day. Matt, you gonna hang out, give us some home run bets? I got 4 here for you.
You have 4 from me. I only have 3, and one of them got rained out.
All right, well,
Best of luck tonight, fellas. I'm out. I'll see you tomorrow, Kyle.
See you tomorrow.
Let's bring on Toast so he can critique your home run plays if he doesn't like them.
I'm curious what the 4th one you have is.
I made the graphics right off of your YouTube video.
This morning? No, I didn't.
Yes, you
Matt,
did.
would you like to place a wager on it? I literally took it right from your YouTube video.
I watch your YouTube video first thing in the morning every day, Matthew.
What a waste of
First thing I
time.
do when I wake up.
I gave out leans, which might be what you're referring to, but
All
I
right.
promise you I only have 3 official ones.
Let's play the song.
And it makes you feel down. And it makes you feel down. And it makes you feel down. Down. Down.
All right. So Matt, which ones are actually your home run picks?
Well, it was Kerry Carpenter. He was my favorite one. Unfortunately, he's out tonight. Well, the game's postponed. He's not out. The game's postponed. The 2 official ones, it's super chalk. It just felt like a chalk day for me today. Number 1 was Byron Buxton. I love taking him against a lefty, and I love taking him against a lefty that stinks in Cade Povich. He's allowed 6 home runs this year. Povich has all 6 to righties. Home run per 9 of 2.49. Bad barrel rate, hard hit rate, all that stuff. On the year, Buxton doesn't have a ton of at-bats against lefties, but his numbers are insane. 364 ISO rate, 63 combined fly ball plus line drive rate, and a 68% pull rate. It's exactly what you're looking for. Last 2 weeks, only 11 at-bats against lefties, 2 home runs in those 11 at-bats. And then the third one is Rooker. Now the odds on this got nuked. I got it at 380. It's now 320. 330 at PointsBet. Does PointsBet even still exist? I don't even know why their odds are still.
I don't think so. I think it's Fanatics now.
Yeah, I don't know why those odds are being pulled in, but I'll give it out anyways. The biggest thing here is the matchup against Hancock. He took him yard last year. Hancock's really struggled against righties. 2.00. I don't know if that's the best way to say it, but home run per 9 of 2. Barrel rate over like almost 10%. Throws that sinker 50% of the time against righties. Rooker hasn't been as good this year against sinkers, but last year he smoked them, given an A grade against sinkers according to Ballpark Pal. The sinker that Hancock throws, it doesn't sink. I call that a stinker when it doesn't sink. Graded F on Ballpark Pal. It's below average according to Fangraphs as well. And slight weather advantage, like 15 mile per hour winds blowing out to left field. Rooker pulls the ball 50% of the time against right-handed pitching. So yeah, those are the 2 I had. Now I'm curious, what was the other one that you guys thought?
Austin Riley.
No, I have Schneeman.
Oh, I had him yesterday, and he got refunded. I didn't play him again today.
Well, you should have specified that in your YouTube video.
He wasn't even. I didn't mention him a single time.
I thought you played Austin Riley because you brought up the videos or the boards and stuff like that. So I apologize. That was just a lean.
Yeah, I do like. Yeah, honestly, now that I know that Carey's out, I might pivot to Riley or Juan Soto. But as of right now, it's just those 2.
Someone said in all capital letters, Matthew Modai, give me the dong. Freaking crazy. All right, Matt.
He also said I call that the stinker.
Enjoy your day, Matt. See you tomorrow.
All right, see you, gentlemen. Have a good
Later,
one.
brother. Oh, that was so funny.
Set this up for 2 people, and then we'll go ahead and get it started. Go through the MLB. The market hates my bets today. Oh my God, the market hates my bets. All right, real quick, let's do betting league standings. Not good for me.
You also have a email from me as well.
Oh yeah, cool. So, after one day of the new week in the Hillary Rodham division, we got Drew Plays in first, followed by Taylor Made, and we love titties up there again. In blue, Steel Shock is in first place, followed by I'm Your Huckleberry and Becky Buck Wild. In the Northern Adderall division, It's Sean is in first, followed by Adrian and I'm not reading the third main, man. You guys can see who it is. Are you kidding me with that?
That's why I was laughing, because I'm like,
I'm not reading that. So in the Southern Conference here, in the Squid Division, Dom's in first place, familiar face up top, followed by Sweet Axis T, and Kyle Call Me the Duke is in third place. In Corbin Mountain, Empire's in first place, followed by Hans and Helm, some familiar faces up top in Corbin Mountain. In the Samuel L. Jackson Division, Steez is in first place, plus 3.14 units, followed by Jinwoo Sama and Just the Fip.
That's a good name. That's a hell of a name.
Yeah. So now that that's out of the way, Toast, let's go through the slate. Now, we don't have a third guest, so I'm sure a lot of this you guys heard us talk about last night. Talk about what the line has done and if we've added anything, changed our mind on anything. First up, Cleveland on the road at Washington. This is obviously this game started already. So actually, let's skip right to the next one.
Yep.
Dodgers.
The Nationals are up 3-2. God damn it.
With the Nationals bullpen, you can never say something like that.
I know. I was playing them first 5. I didn't because of the doubleheader, but.
Although I will say, if you're going to bet a doubleheader, first 5s are probably a safer way to do it.
That's especially the first game of the doubleheader too.
Dodgers on the road in Miami. We both took the over here. Is this line? Has this line done anything?
It's a team total. So, or did you take the over?
I took just over 9.5. I got plus 100.
I was gonna say I think it's moved. I think it's like minus 110 now. Let me double check that just to be sure. No, it's like it's like minus 115. So you definitely got some CLV on the plus over 9.5. I played Dodgers team total over 5.5. All the same difference to me. I will say that Teoscar Hernandez won't be in the lineup today. I think he's getting sent to the IL. I know he's getting sent to the IL. And James Outman will probably be up today. I don't know if he actually plays. I bet you see. I don't know if you see. I think Kim has been played his first full game yesterday and in his spot that he did before. So I would expect him in the lineup. But regardless, this Dodgers team absolutely punishes Miami. Not to mention the fact that this Cal Quantrill is absolutely terrible. Teoscar Hernandez is a big bat for LA. I'm not trying to gloss over the fact that he's been very good, but they also have a lot of other good bats in the lineup as well. And I don't worry about just one guy. The Dodgers have scored over the last 10 times that these two teams played. Dodgers have hit this number in every one of them except for one. And they've put over the last, since going back to last year, the last 10 innings that they've seen against Cal Quantrill, he's given up 13 runs. So I think it's pretty simple to expect runs. And then as far as Tony Gonsolin's concerned, it's just going to be a second start back. He against a team that he literally just saw again, and he went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs. He looked really good with 9 strikeouts and no walks. I don't think you're probably going to get as good as a performance from him again. So, like I said, I expect runs on both sides. I played the Dodgers because I didn't want to worry about it, the Miami bats, but I don't hate the over either.
Yeah, the reason, and by the way, there are actually a couple books have moved this up to 10. DraftKings is up at 10. You could still get an expensive 9.5. So I did get some. The market actually liked my pick here. A couple of the other ones they didn't. Just want to show you guys why. So you heard Tolos talk about the Dodgers scoring runs. Just want to show you why I included the Marlins as well and went with the full game. Look at the Dodgers bullpen. It's not that it's completely taxed, but everyone went. I mean, Tanner Scott, 12 pitches. Phillips, 15 pitches. Kirby Yates, not going to be available. Vesia, probably not available. It's just the Marlins just saw all of these arms. So in addition to me not really trusting Tony Gonsolin in this ballpark where runs are usually scored, it's also some question marks as far as what arms we're going to see from the Dodgers late in this one. So I felt safe including the Marlins in to get up and over 9.5. Rangers, Bastin. I don't really like your bet in this one if we're being honest.
It's okay. I got 15 cents of CLV. I'm good.
Your Rangers first 5, right?
Yeah, Rangers first 5 money line for me. I guess I just thought it was kind of cheap just in general. I don't want to make I'm not trying to make a case that I think that this Rangers team offensively is anything special at all. That's not what I'm trying to do. But what I will say is that you have a Boston team that's not only, I mean, do we really trust them that much offensively? I mean, I will give you that they've seen some pretty decent right-handed starters, give or take, but it's not like they're killing anybody. I mean, they put up 7 versus Bowden Francis. Who cares? We all know that he sucks. They put up 4 against Ben Lively. He's average at best. But, I mean, Ober, Joe Ryan, Jose Barrios, Brian Wu, Emerson Hancock. I mean, all these guys have pitched well with them over the last couple weeks. So, and you take Tristan Casas out of that lineup. I mean, I don't know what you're really going to get. I trust the top half guys. I trust guys like Duran and Devers and Bregman, but everybody else from them on, Campbell's a really good, talented kid, and same with Abreu, but I don't really trust them right now. I kind of call BS on Trevor Story's hot start, and then Toro, Navarez, and Rafaela. I mean, those are essentially AAA bats. So I'm not really worried about Boston offensively right now, and the fact that Texas is going to be having Corey Seager back, I think that helps a lot.
Can't play defense.
Not to mention the fact that I don't really trust Lucas Giolito at all right now. I mean, he had 1 start this year. It was on the road in Toronto. It wasn't terrible. I mean, for his first start in 2 years, he went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits and 3 runs. But I just think that we have a pretty huge pitching advantage with Nate Eovaldi on the other side, who's been pretty damn good this year as well. So I get that he's coming back to Boston, and he hasn't pitched in Boston in a couple years now. And the one time he did pitch in Boston against the Red Sox, it wasn't great. I don't really care. He's been really, really good this year. I don't really want to deal with the later part of this game, but it's Texas in the first 5. Yeah, I'll take my chances here.
Nate Eovaldi doesn't like pitching in this ballpark, man. Doesn't like it here. Going back to a place where he used to get regularly rocked as the home pitcher. But, yeah, I'll give you. It's a starting pitching advantage. Not going to argue with you there. It's a huge hitting advantage for Boston. Texas can't score runs. Corey Seager is not the same this year. That lineup is bad. How do you not play Boston at the plus money? I didn't do it. That's what I wanted to do. I said Boston or pass last night. It's still Boston or pass for me. The lineups are not even close. Texas can't score runs. Plain and simple.
They bet Boston. Full bullpen, easy money.
Too scared. Padres Yankees, and you're an asshole for this one.
I'm not an asshole. I think the one time I've got it wrong this year, so I apologize for that. I'll give you the
Should have trusted my gut. Should have trusted my gut.
$30
last night. I'll give you $30.
Yo, that's the difference. You make a $200 bet, I'll give you the $30 that you missed out on. I'll Venmo to you after the show.
So what happened last night was I said, I like the Yankees at minus 110. I'm going to bet the Yankees. And Toast goes, no, wait. You can get them at plus money tomorrow. It's now minus 124.
Yeah, I don't know what happened today, like 2 hours ago when this line flipped. I truly don't. So I don't understand it. I mean, I don't understand what the case is for the Yankees. I guess
Michael King
don't
in Yankee
that.
Stadium where he has painful memories and he's going to get shelled.
How does he have painful memories? He was the reason that we traded for Juan Soto. I don't know, man.
The Yankee fan base is not a forgiving bunch. They don't respect traders.
I mean, it's not his fault. They wanted Juan Soto. So, and they didn't want Michael King. So anyway, Michael King's been absolutely fantastic for the last 3 years now. I keep on telling you guys, I'm not really worried about this Yankees lineup. So you guys can come at me all you want, but the fact of the matter is they're really not scoring runs. So I have no reason to believe that Michael King doesn't pitch well. I mean, is Clark Schmidt a bad pitcher? No, I actually think that, especially in Yankee Stadium, we'll give him an upgrade. He usually pitches better there. But his first start in Yankee Stadium this year against the Royals wasn't great. He pitched well against Toronto, but he also had 4 walks. If you start walking this Padres lineup that now has Jackson Merrill in it, I would start to worry because now this lineup starts to look like a regular lineup. Jake Cronenworth's going to be starting in El Paso today as well, so he should be coming back soon. But regardless of the fact that okay, so let's just say, I don't even know if you give the Yankees the lineup. Give them the Yankees the lineup. Sure, go ahead. I got the starting pitch and the Yankees got the lineup. So let's go to the bullpens. Well, we already know the Padres are the best bullpen in baseball, so that's pretty simple. So let's take a look at the usage. Suarez is 2 of the last 3 days, but he's also under 25 pitches in those days with a couple days off. I actually think that Suarez would be available today if they needed him. But you're going to have Jason Adam, who's fine. You won't have Jeremiah Estrada, which kind of sucks, but you will have Suarez, Adam, Morihone, and Peralta, all with days off. So you're not going to see Matsui. You're not going to see Estrada, and that's pretty much it. And then if you flip it over to the Yankees side, I mean, first of all, who cares? I mean, this Yankees bullpen's not that good. Luke Weaver just went yesterday and blew the save, so please trot his ass back out there. Fernando Cruz is 2 of the last 3 days. Devin Williams, please bring his ass out there.
You're
Ian
not going to see
Hamilton is
Devin
fine.
Williams. Not.
I know. I was trying to make a joke there, but Tim Hill's 2 of the last 3 days, so it's not like the Yankees have some crazy big advantage in the bullpen either. I truly don't understand the line movement. I wish I could figure it out. I guess there's some.
I'll tell you why.
Go ahead, please.
The Padres bats haven't been all that great. You don't just throw Jackson Merrill in all of a sudden. Hey, they're all the way back. They haven't been all that great offensively. Clark Schmitty, much better
than the Yankees, just for the record.
Schmitty is much more reliable at home in Yankee Stadium. So I don't think
that's a fallacy. That's a crazy statement,
dude.
That's a
it's not.
Crazy statement. Yes, it is.
He's been better at home.
Than Michael King.
Oh, I'm not saying better than I'm saying he's better than he is on the road.
Oh, sorry. Okay, my bad.
I'm saying the gap between starting pitching isn't as big as you think because Clark Schmidt's pitching at home. He's better at home. Okay. I think this is a Yankee spot, and clearly the market agrees. But Toast talked me off of placing a -110 bet.
Again, I'll Venmo you the 30 if you place the bet.
Phillies Rays, and we were talking about this last night. I think this is the biggest coin flip game on the board, honestly.
This makes no sense to me.
In what way?
Well, I mean, if you're a casual and you look at this game and you're betting baseball and you see Zach Wheeler at a cheap price, I mean, regardless if he's on the road or not against a Tampa Bay team, I mean, and Rasmussen's been throttled his last 2 starts. Like, how are you getting the Phillies -125? Then you add on.
I don't know about like throttled in his last 2 starts. I think people are just looking at the numbers and saying, "Hey, Rasmussen's really good." He's got a 2.64 ERA on the year. So, look, I think the number is pretty efficient. Phillies are laying -125 on the road. They haven't been hitting. I honestly probably would make this one like Phillies -125, -130. I think it's right on the money, which is why I'm saying coin flip. I think this market is completely efficient. I would lean Phillies because I think they win, but -1, I would need a -110 to place it.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I think that Zach Wheeler should be a -140 favorite here. I don't understand this line. Again, I could be wrong, but the Rays are 9-13 at home. They can't hit at home. Facing
earlier in the year though,
but they're facing one of the best pitchers in the National League with a proven track record. For me, it just doesn't make any sense. Rasmussen's been decent at times, but again, he was decent against Texas, Atlanta, and the Yankees. Arizona throttled him. The Royals throttled him. I'm not at a point where I'm there with Tampa, not to mention the fact I really don't like the spot of them having to fly up to New York and play 3 games, win 2 of them in kind of dramatic fashion, and then come back home and now got to get back up and face Zach Wheeler. I think the Phillies win. There's not a chance in hell I bet the Phillies. All the bets, all the money are on the Phillies. It's probably one of the most public bets of the day, and that line has just stayed there the whole day. So if you want to play the FU World card, it would be Tampa Bay. That's the only way I would play it, because clearly the books are not worried about people taking the Phillies money. That's abundantly clear today.
I'm not betting this.
Me neither.
Maybe over in this ballpark too. Reds Braves. Real quick. Sign of the cross there, because I did the unthinkable. I went back to the well and bet Cincinnati again. After everyone in our community was collectively cursing out the Reds last night.
They're banned.
Between DNB, do not bet list.
That's the other one. Yeah, no bet list. They're on it.
I got it at +190. No one wants to bet the Reds in this one, but Chris Sale hasn't been all that great. Reds have gotten to some lefties. Andrew Abbott's been solid. We don't know how the Braves lineup is going to look against left-handed pitching, because they've essentially seen no lefties this year. The only decent lefty they've seen, who was it? Lizardo? They didn't get to him. The only decent lefty they've seen, I would consider Andrew.
It was Easton Lucas who they got to. They saw Snell and Lizardo.
Yeah, they didn't get to Lizardo, right? The only lefty they got to this year, all year, the Braves, was Easton Lucas. It's the only lefty they got to. Yeah, so it's not that I think, not that I'm placing this because I think the Reds are going to win the game. I just think plus 185 is crazy. So it's just a play on the number. It's again, not that I necessarily think the Reds are going to win the game, but it shouldn't be. I got plus 190, which is crazy. This Reds lineup can go off in any second. They could also put up a 0, as we just saw last night. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Reds scored 9 tonight. They're just such an unpredictable lineup. I just feel like you could never put a plus 190 price tag on this Reds team. Not to mention with Chris Sale on the mound, who hasn't even been all that great. So yeah, I played the plus 190.
Yeah, I played Reds team total over 2.5 minus 140. I don't think you can get that anymore. It's at 3.5 now. I wouldn't bet that, but I was waiting to bet the Braves or the Reds money line as well, and I probably will at 185. I think it's around there still. But for me, it was more or less. I know that everybody's going to scoff at this and not want to hit and not want to touch the Reds, which I get it. But I mean, the Reds versus left-handed pitching has actually been pretty solid for them this year. They're like middle of the pack and whatever, but a couple things stand out to me. One, if you take a look at the lefty starters that they've seen, regardless, again, none of these guys are nearly as good as Chris Sale, but 5 off of Mitchell Parker, 2 off of Liberatore in 3 innings, 6 off of Freeland, 7 off of Povich, 4 off of Heaney, 3 off of Falter, 3 off of Robbie Ray. Nestor Cortez and Tyler Alexander pitched it well against them, but Nestor Cortez, that was after the Yankees game where he got throttled. It made sense. And Steven Matz had a decent game against them, but that's it. And then as far as Chris Sale is concerned, he really hasn't been the same, albeit I don't think he was ever going to be as bad as some of the times that he showed, especially those back-to-back starts with Philly and Tampa. But that being said, he also did get Minnesota and Colorado 2 of his last 3 starts. The Arizona start was impressive, but the other 2 starts really not impressive. And if there's one thing that we know about Chris Sale is that he struggles with right-handed bats. And if there's one thing that Cincinnati has is a whole lot of right-handed bats. They're going to have 8 batters batting from the right-handed side of the plate today. I just think there's a lot of avenues for the Reds to score a run and to win this game. Not to mention the fact that the Braves bullpen has been okay, but it's more of like Iglesias and Hernandez are the guys that I trust. So they'll be available tonight, but I think that the Reds bullpen has been, if not just as good, if not better, and they're going to have all their rested arms available as well. So I do think it's a really good spot for the Reds today, especially at this number.
We haven't seen a lefty starter go further than 5 innings against the Reds in almost a whole month. The last 6 lefty starters they've seen, they've gotten out of there in 5 innings or less. In fact, the only one to even make it 5 innings was Mackenzie Gore, and they had 8 base runners off Mackenzie Gore in 5 innings. I mean, Mitchell Parker, who granted isn't an elite lefty, but he's certainly not a bad lefty either, crushed him. They got Liberatore out of the game almost immediately. Same with Steven Matz. They rocked Kyle Freeland, rocked Cade Povich. I know Chris Sale is a step above most of the names I just named, but Mackenzie Gore is solid, and the Reds were giving him problems. So, yeah, I think this is a decent play, honestly, at the plus 190. Giants on the road in Wrigley against the shittiest team in baseball. Toast, I know you bet him. Toast has officially boarded the Cubs bandwagon. He's all in. He's got a Wrigley Field tattoo across his back.
Fly the W,
He's
baby.
drinking
That W.
Toast is drinking the Cubs Kool-Aid. He's fallen victim to the hype. He's officially drinking the Cubs Kool-Aid. That's back-to-back days you've bet on this team. So go ahead.
I've actually bet on the Cubs. They've been actually really good to me. I don't really love it as much as I did yesterday. I thought that I was going to get a lot more CLV on this. I played the Cubs at 145. It's 155, and it's obviously a very public side, but I'm just not in a position where I'm going to try to fade this Cubs team at home right now. Their home record isn't anything super crazy. It's 10-7, but this Giants team, for one, yesterday I was fading Landon Rupp, and I keep on telling you guys that kid's not very good, but now I get Justin Verlander in a spot where we start to think that Justin Verlander might be back or might be decent. But keep in mind that Justin Verlander was terrible this year against the Reds, the Mariners, the Phillies. Okay, all those teams, especially Phillies, you can whatever, but all 3 of those teams somewhat offensively are decent, especially Seattle. Okay, and then he goes on the road in LA to face the Angels. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. Awesome job for the 45-year-old. Then back at home against the Texas team that we just talked about, can't hit for shit. Goes 6 innings, gives up 1 run, another awesome start, and then gets another home start against Colorado. So Angels, Texas, Colorado, 3 teams that can't hit at all to save their life. He looks really good against them. Now I'm supposed to expect him to go on the road versus one of the best, if not the best, offenses in Major League Baseball right now and just pitch a gem. Not to mention the fact that, like, I'm not really sold on this San Francisco bullpen if Ryan Walker is shaky. And I mean, Duvall and Rogers have done their part so far, but again, I'm just not really there with San Francisco against this Cubs team like that. So I played the Cubs. Again, I'm not in love with it like I loved it yesterday. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's just under pass, but I'm not betting it because I tried the under with the wind blowing in Wrigley yesterday, failed miserably. The Cubs went over the total by themselves. Verlander has looked good in his last couple starts, but on the road in Wrigley against this lineup, which, granted, as much as I hate the fan base, they're red hot right now, and I can't actually place this bet, so it's a pass for me. Next up, Houston, Milwaukee. Market doesn't like my bet here, and I don't get why. What am I missing?
You bet Milwaukee, right?
No, I bet the Astros at minus 105. It's plus 104 now. What am I missing? Chad Patrick sucks, dude.
I think you're in the same spot as I was yesterday. I lived the same thing happened to me. I bet the Astros yesterday, 105, closed plus 105, plus 110, something like that. Jordan not there. I mean, I don't know, man. For me, it would only be the Astros. I get that the offense is bad. I get that, but the price, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. I don't think that Chad Patrick's that great either. I mean, the numbers are fine this year. It's not like you're going to look at them and be like, oh my God, look at these gaudy numbers or the extra crazy or anything like that. I mean, but at the same time, I mean, is he really, I mean, Hayden Wesneski's been pretty damn good for the Astros here. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And so not to mention the fact that, let's just say, I mean, obviously Milwaukee has the bats advantage offensively. And I guess I personally think that the starting pitching is a wash. I think that Wisniewski is just as good, if not better, than Chad Patrick, in my personal opinion. And then you flip it over to the bullpens, and that's where this game really doesn't make sense to me. Exactly. The Astros bullpen is very good. Hader, Abreu, King, at least, especially if you have those 3 rested and available, which you do. You also have the only person that you're not going to see in the Astros bullpen right now is Caleb Ort, who's been so far their worst arm. Again, I think he's fine, but so far the numbers wise tell us that he's their worst arm. So that's the only guy you're not going to have. Now let's get to Milwaukee. You're going to have McGill, but Koenig, 2 of the back-to-back days. Uribe, 2 of the last 3 days. Grant Anderson went 21 pitches last night and 3 of the last 4 days. Nick Mears, 2 of the last 3 days. Small pitch count, but still. And then Payamps went 19 pitches yesterday. So I don't understand. Let's just call everything a wash till we get to the 6th. The advantage that the Astros have from the 6th inning on is just absolutely ginormous. So it would only be the Astros for me. Again, I get they can't hit, but I don't. This price tells me that the books don't really think Milwaukee can hit that much better. So it's only Milwaukee. Or I'm sorry, Houston for me.
I couldn't agree more. And I mean, Milwaukee, Chad Patrick better throw 7. Because, yes, they are going to have Uribe and Trevor McGill available. I like McGill, Uribe, not so much, but you're not going to see Koenig. You're not going to see Grant Anderson. I mean, maybe you might not even see Nick Mears. They just saw Payamps, and hasn't even been good. So if Chad Patrick is out of this game after 5, which who knows? Like, let's see. He's made 7 starts this year. He's made it past 5 innings, 3 of the 7. He's never made it farther than 6 ever in this season. So let's say Chad Patrick's out of the game after 5, who is eating up all these innings? Yeah, you're going to get 1 from Uribe. You're going to get 1 from McGill. There's still a 2-inning gap in there where we don't know who's going to come in. And the Astros bullpen is rested and it's much better. So Toast phrased it perfectly. The pitching advantage in the late innings is just so significant for Houston. But the market hates it. I got minus 105. It's plus 104. So the sharp money's coming in on the other side. I don't get it. Milwaukee sucks. Trevor sucks.
Yeah, I get that Milwaukee is good at home. The comments. I get that. If they were that good at home, they'd be minus 130 or more because the Astros can't hit.
White Sox on the road in Kansas City. I mean,
Yeah, it's really fast. Royals -1.5 for pass. Did not bet this game. Do not want to bet this game. I don't think there's a chance in hell that Lugo pitches bad. I think he pitches just fine. And Burke has been pretty terrible. And matter of fact, Burke is coming off one of those quote unquote game of his life that I like to say, where he went 6 innings against the Brewers and didn't give up a run. So he's definitely due for 3 or 4 himself. But again, I'm not paying. And I will also give you shout out to Royals fans. I've had a couple of my DMs. Yes, like I said last night, you're one of the hottest teams in baseball right now, especially over the last week and a half, 2 weeks. I think 8-2 the last 10. So again, everything says Kansas City. Do I want to pay that price with the Royals and Seth Lugo? Absolutely not. So it would only be Royals or pass.
Copy and paste. Yesterday I said Royals -1.5 for pass. It would have hit. Didn't bet it. Not betting this one. Royals -1.5 for pass. Let's move on. Orioles Twins. You had the balls that actually bet this one. I did not, but I agree with you. Or actually, did you end up placing this bet?
I did, and then I doubled down. So I had like 0.6 units on it, and now I woke up this morning and I got +150. So now I have a full unit on Baltimore. Half of it, or most of it, on +136.4 at +150.
All right. I mean, I agree with you. I like. There's no way you'll ever catch me backing the Orioles against a left-handed pitcher, at least not right now, for the foreseeable future. But you can sell me on a Baltimore bet against a righty, especially a sell high spot for Pablo Lopez, who looked really good. Who did he pitch against last? Cleveland, yeah. And I watched that game. He looked excellent. And if you know our old friend Pablo, when there's smoke, there's fire. And we saw a good game from Pablo. That's the smoke. He's going to follow it up with getting rocked. Pablo Lopez, shaky numbers against lefty bats this year. Want to know how many lefties are going to be in the lineup for Baltimore? 1, 2, 3, 4. The first 4 hitters. So the first inning, he's pitching to 4 straight lefties. 5, 6, 7. 7 of the 9 hitters in Baltimore's lineup will be batting from the left side. Pablo Lopez might get taken to Pound Town, and not the good kind. So I'm down. The only reason I didn't bet it is Cade Povich. Dude, he's not good.
I mean, he's not that bad. So I get. So Kyle, yes, everything that Kyle said, you can copy and paste that for me as well. And he struggles versus righty bats. There's a lot of righty bats in the Minnesota lineup. I get all that. But for me, I kind of call bullshit on Minnesota. I know that first of all, I don't think they're that good of a baseball team. They've over their last 10 games, they're 6-4 their last 10. They lost, and 3 of those wins came against the Angels. One of them came against Cleveland, where they scored 11 runs. Who cares? But besides that, it's all losses, and then 2 random lucky ass wins versus the Red Sox, because the Red Sox bullpen is terrible and they can't play at home. But that's the only reason that they won those 2 games. So let me just phrase it differently, I guess. If the Twins would have lost both of those games and Boston's bullpen did their job, what would this price be right now? Because Minnesota would be coming in on a 6-game losing streak, or let's just say they win one of those games. So they've lost 5 of their last 6 or whatever. I mean, there's no way that they have this price like this. I just feel like we're getting a crazy price because Minnesota has won 2 games on the road in Boston. Pablo Lopez isn't that great, especially at home. The Twins bullpen is going to be fine, but they've been used a lot the last couple of days. So I don't really know if they're 100%, and they had to travel back home. This is going to be their first game coming home from a road trip. Baltimore's going to have everybody rested and available in their bullpen. I get that Cade Povich is a question mark. He's had 1 good start on the road, 1 bad start on the road. But again, as long as he can get us through 5 with just keeping us in the game, which I think he can, I think that we have a really good shot in this game. The Twins should not be this big of a favorite to anybody right now. I truly believe that.
Yeah, I switched my pick over to the over. It's over or pass, just because I cannot get there with Cade Povich. And that Garrett Crochet game log that was missing. Remember, the starting pitcher game logs in our spreadsheets are always 1 day behind. So it's there now. And yes, the Twins didn't get the Garrett Crochet, but Cade Povich is most definitely not Garrett Crochet. The 2 lefties that the Twins saw before Garrett Crochet, Kikuchi and Chris Sale, Twins smacked both of them around. So I can't get there with Cade Povich. It would only be over for me here. But I don't like how both bullpens are completely rested. Not what I like to see if I'm betting an over. Don't want like a 3-2 score after 5 innings with a 4-2 final score.
I actually kind of like your over, actually, to be dead honest with you. That makes a lot more sense. Even it probably first 5 would actually be probably a little bit better, but
Pirates Cardinals, and all I have to say here is what in the fake sharp is going on here? This is the fakest sharp. I don't understand how I did not get closing line value on this. This is my biggest bet of the day, and it lost value. I got the Pirates money line at -124, Pirates -1.5. I don't understand what. I know the Pirates have been bad, but are we freaking crazy here? I don't.
And also, can I just say really quickly, the Pirates have been bad because why? They've played the Dodgers, the Cubs, and the Padres the last 3 series. Just want to throw that out there for everybody. That's telling me how bad the Pirates are.
I mean, it's Paul Skeens against Liberator. Paul Skeens against Liberator. We're getting it at a pretty respectable price. And check this out. Even if you're like not even a Skeens guy, what about this? Look at the freaking Cardinals bullpen. Are we joking?
How are you going to get past this paint by numbers?
Who's pitching? There's going to be no Helsley, no Maton, no Lee. Who's pitching the end of this game for freaking St. Louis? I mean, are you counting on Liberator going 7? I don't understand the price. I don't understand who is betting this number down. I don't get it. This is my biggest bet of the day. I'm on the Pirates money line, Pirates -1.5. And the line's moving against me. I don't know. I'm truly shocked. The Cardinals bullpen is completely taxed. We have the significant starting advantage. Not to mention you got Paul Skeens coming off a rare bad start where he gave up 3 home runs. I don't know.
Your guess is as good as mine, brother. I will say that Again, I'm really trying to grasp at straws here, but St. Louis has seen him a lot. I said that going into this first start that he had with St. Louis earlier this year when he got throttled. But, I mean, do we really expect Paul Skeens to get throttled by St. Louis 2 times in a row? On top, and even if you think if you do, so be it. And I'm like the biggest Paul Skeens hater in the world, and I don't even expect that. So I don't see how Paul Skeens doesn't pitch well here today, especially like Kyle said after getting embarrassed by the Cubs. And that's not me talking shit. I'm just saying, like, the 3 home runs in that fashion, I'm sure he's probably pissed off. And then Liberator on the other end. Okay, he's been good this year. I will give him that. But the only team that he hasn't been good against was who? The Pittsburgh Pirates. And he's also faced this Pittsburgh Pirates team a couple times, once this year, once last year. And both of those times he's given up 5 runs against them. So I mean, I guess if Liberator finally finds it against the Pirates, so be it. If you're looking for a player prop, I didn't play this game. Maybe Brian Reynolds, because Brian Reynolds has crazy good numbers off of Matthew Liberator, but it would only be the Pirates for me. The bullpen situation just puts a double stamp on it. Like, nothing about this game makes sense. I don't know how Kyle lost value. It makes 0 sense to me. It would only be Pittsburgh for me. I don't know.
The Cardinals are missing their whole bullpen. I don't even get it.
I have no idea.
Even if you're like, yeah, Liberator's going to outpitch Skeens, which is like already a crazy reach. What are you going to do in the late innings? I don't get it.
And yeah, I'm well aware that the Pirates bullpen isn't anything to write home about. But when you don't have your top 3 arms in St. Louis, it's not like St. Louis is a bullpen you're trying to back every time out either. So
yeah, I don't get it. If Liberator doesn't go 7 innings, I just don't see. Even if he goes 7 innings, those last 2 are going to be a stretch. Tigers, Rockies. I don't freaking know.
It would only be the Tigers for me. I didn't place it. Did this game get rained out? Was this one of them? No.
Oh, let me check.
Who was the game that Modai said that he had a guy and he's not playing? Or maybe Kerry
it's Carpenter. It's Carpenter. Yeah, so maybe it is this one.
Yeah, this game is postponed. That's what I thought. Okay.
All right, cool. Next. Yeah, it was this one. Blue Jays, Angels. I took Toronto. I got -108. Pretty simple. Probably heard me say this a number of times this year. The Blue Jays cannot hit right-handed pitching. They're a very right-handed, righty-heavy lineup. So Yeah, they struggle to hit right-handed pitching. And whenever you see the Blue Jays that see a bunch of righties in a row, everyone's like, you can't trust this lineup. They suck. They're trash. And then they see a lefty. And this is when you actually can trust Toronto to some extent. I'm not going to say I expect the Blue Jays lineup to go off here. But I'm down to trust the Blue Jays lineup against a lefty. So I went with Toronto. This is one of my smaller bets of the day, though.
Yeah, I'm on Toronto as well. I think they're really undervalued versus left-handed pitching, like Sauce said. I know Jose Urena is a scary thought, but he's just the opener. He's only going to be out there for 1 inning, and then you're going to get a whole bunch. The bulk inning is going to be Eric Lauer. And as far as the Toronto bullpen is concerned, I actually like what they can do here because it's going to be Urena, and then, like I said, Lauer, and then in long relief, and then everybody else I kind of trust. Once they get up to that Flaherty kid, or however you say his last name, everybody else in that bullpen is actually pretty damn trustable, or someone that I trust, I guess, put it that way. And then Tyler Anderson, I don't know if it's like the end of the road for him, like he was kind of skating by last year and the start of this year, and he's kind of given up 3 runs back-to-back start, which for him is actually kind of a lot. But again, this Angels bullpen is just so bad. So even if Tyler Anderson were to pitch well and the Angels had a small lead in like the 5th or the 6th inning, I think the advantage for Toronto in the later half is just too significant here. So to get them at less than -110, we got them at -108, -115. I just thought that was way too cheap for this Toronto team. This Angels bullpen is very bad.
Yep. Now let's move on to a game where this is one of the few where I actually got good CLV on. I think Toast, I think you're with, I actually tailed you, I believe, over 8.5 last night, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's at 9 now. So yeah, we're both on the over, and both of these. Okay. So very simple. Both of these lineups have seen these starting pitchers already. Peterson already pitched against Arizona. Gallen has already pitched against the Mets. We talked about how, well, Toast has been pretty adamant about how he expects the Diamondbacks lineup to come around against lefties. Is Marte playing?
Yeah.
Marte, yeah, it looks like Marte is going to be in the lineup. He's a huge piece for them against lefties. So we expect the Arizona lineup to swing back in a positive way against left-handed pitching, especially against a lefty they've already seen. And same goes for the Mets. Zach Gallen's struggling this year. Mets already saw him. Both bullpens are also taxed. Arizona, I mean, it's going to be missing a couple of their Ryan Thompson. Is it going to pitch? Barillo isn't going to pitch. On the Mets side, Diaz is not available. Garrett is not available. Braziban's not available. So in addition to, I think both starting pitchers could get hit up. Both bullpens are a bit compromised as well. Yeah, I'm on over 8.5 here.
Just to add to that, Zach, I don't really trust Zach Gallen. When you trust him to pitch well, he's one of those guys where he has a good one and then he has an absolute stinker. We've already targeted him here in this same type of situation. When he went on the road, he pitched fantastic against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. He had 13 strikeouts. He looked like no one could touch this guy ever again. Then he gets home, rested, and then he faces a Baltimore team that we give you can hit right-handed pitching and gets absolutely destroyed. Didn't really look somewhat decent against Milwaukee, got destroyed against the Cubs, got kind of destroyed against a bad Braves team, and then looked really good against this Mets team on the road in Yankee Stadium, or I'm sorry, in Citi Field. I think that he comes home and the Mets kind of get to him here today. And like Kyle said, on top of that, as far as the bullpen situation goes, the Arizona bullpen not in a great situation, as he stated, with Thompson not being available. But keep in mind, too, these teams also just played a series like less than 6 days ago or whatever it was. Or I'm sorry. It was about 6 days ago. So they're very familiar with all these bullpen arms already, which I just think that now that you have them compromised as well, just gives you more reason to bet the over for me. So even at 9, I would still bet it on the over. I just think that there's a lot of ways that we can get runs here today.
Agreed. And now we go on to the last one. And I really don't get, I don't really, another one where I really don't understand how the market didn't hook us up here overnight. I got the Mariners at +100. I don't understand how it's sitting at +101, pretty much exactly where it was last night. We're talking about an Athletics bullpen that's completely taxed. I don't even know if I would say, I think the perception is that the A's have the starting pitching advantage. I don't know if I would even say that, honestly. Like, Jeffrey Springs is not very good. I know Hancock's a little shaky as well, but his numbers are definitely skewed from one terrible start. But really, what I'm looking at here is the bullpen, and I'll pull it up. Look at the Athletics bullpen here. 1 second. Mason Miller, 2 of the last 3, including 27 pitches last night. He's not going to be available. Ferguson, 3 nights in a row. He's not going to be available. Holman, 2 of the last 3 through 25 last night. He's probably not available. Mitch Spence, 2 nights in a row. Probably not available. So there's just, this bullpen is taxed. And now Seattle is not going to have Munoz. So that's true. Munoz is probably not going to pitch. He threw 28 last night. But they were able to go through that extra inning games. What they lost last night, they say Brash and Spear, 2 very good arms for them. So at the end of the game, Seattle has 2 reliable bullpen arms, and the Athletics just don't. Yeah, it's a little shaky in terms of long relief. Like, you're going to need Barzardo to pitch in this game. You're probably going to need to see Snyder again. So I understand it's not a slam dunk here. But on the other side, I mean, if Jeffrey Springs gets into any sort of trouble, you're going to see a guy named Noah Murdoch come in and pitch an inning or 2 in this game. So, yeah, I just like the matchup for the Mariners in the late innings. And honestly, I don't even hate the matchup for the Mariners early either. I think they can hit up Jeffrey Springs, and I don't think Emerson Hancock is as bad as perceived.
Yeah, I agree with you. I played the over personally, just because of the bullpen situations for Oakland. And then, again, Seattle is one of those teams. I mean, they've been able to put up some runs. And I don't really trust Emerson Hancock that much. Personally. So I did play the over 9.5. I don't hate the Seattle side. I agree with you, especially in the late innings. It doesn't make any sense, but I will say that I do think that Emerson Hancock could be due for a little bit of a shellacking here. I mean, I know that his last couple starts against Cincinnati, Boston, and LA have been pretty decent, but now he's going to be in this AAA ballpark. He's also had a little bit of a walk issue his last couple starts, 2 walks in each of his last 2 starts when he usually hasn't had a control issue. So if that continues here, we've already seen guys like Modi and stuff like Brent Rooker. I think there's a lot of avenues for Oakland to score off Emerson Hancock. I don't really trust them in the later innings with that Mariners bullpen because, I mean, Brash is very good, and so is Spear. I mean,
they're both good.
They're both very good.
But that's only 2 innings.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. So I don't think it's like a slam dunk, but I do think that Oakland can score. And then as far as Mitch Spence is concerned, I mean, I don't know. I think that Seattle could really put a hurting on him. I mean, he's not
going to pitch. You talk about Jeffrey Springs?
Oh, I'm sorry, Jeffrey Springs. Excuse me. I apologize. Jeffrey Springs, who's just absolutely terrible versus right-handed bats. You will see 1 left-handed bat in the lineup today, and that'll be J.P. Crawford in the 9th hole. Everybody else will be hitting from the right side of the plate. Maybe Kyle Raleigh stays on the left side if he's hot, but I doubt it. So I just think there's a lot of avenues for runs on both sides here. I definitely give Seattle a huge edge late in the game, too.
Cool. We're going to talk some golf picks. Big Nasty coming off a rare losing week. So a good spot for Big Nasty about bounce back. Toast, talk to you later.
Have a good night, guys.
Hold on. I put you in there. For some reason, you're not coming up. Attempt number 2 to get Big Nasty on the screen. There he is. Hey.
What's going on?
Nothing. Last week was not our week.
It was not our week, and we're a little disappointed about that. I ended up hitting 1 out of 5. Siwoo Kim at least salvaged a little bit for me, but it was not the week to be had. But we're looking for a bounce back, another elevated event.
Yep. Okay.
We got the Truist Championship at Philly Cricket Club this week. This is the first time, it's obviously not the first Truist Championship, but it's the first time that it will be at Philly Cricket Club. So we're at a slight disadvantage in terms of it's really hard to go off of past tournaments and past results because it just hasn't been here before. So, we have to do a little extra research to find some guys that we like.
So we got JT. I put in there, but I know I got the graphics. I know you didn't pick JT. You did pick Xander, though.
We did, and we could start there. Listen, Xander Schauffele, his last 3 starts on the PGA Tour, a T12, a T18, and let me see if I have it right. T12, T8, T18. So 3 for 3 in top 20s the last 3 events he's played in. So he's trending in the right direction. He was coming back off of an injury that he sustained early in the year. The PGA Championship's coming up in a couple weeks. He's the defending PGA champion. So I think that Xander's really going to get his game in gear, especially getting ready to go into defend. And now that he's about 2 months removed from that injury, I look for him to be back on the top of leaderboards. So I like Xander here.
I haven't had the best track record betting Xander. I'm a fan. I like him. I root for him, but I feel like I have a very low hit rate when I bet him, so I don't think I'm going to tail that one. What's next?
Well, we can move to a guy who I know you're going to tail. Let's get back on the Canadian horse, man. I mean, it's a no-brainer to take Corey Connors here. Another elevated event. I mean, Corey I think he has 5 top 10s this year. We obviously have won every week that he was in the top 10 because we were riding him for a long time.
I've only lost once this whole season with Corey Connors, and I bet him 6 times.
And I believe if the one holds true that you bet him, I think he finished like T20 something.
Yeah, he
I
just missed it.
It was one shot out. So listen, it's a good spot for Corey. This Philly Cricket Club, it's going to be a ball striker's paradise. It's going to be somebody who's hitting the ball well. Everything that we've seen in the last 2 months of Corey Connors screams at plus money. There's no reason not to take him here.
Yep. What's next?
Let's move to who else did I give you?
You took Tommy, dude.
I did. And listen, the reason that we take Tommy is because if you look at the hardest golf courses of the year that he's played in, Torrey Pines, T5, Bay Hill, T11, TPC Sawgrass, T14, Copperhead, T16. So he's got 4 top 20s. Again, it's ball striking. Do I think that he's going to win? No, but I mean, that's not what we're betting. We're betting value here. And a guy who's already done it 4 times this year quietly, I think too, because I know we don't really talk about Tommy that much, mainly because he just doesn't get it done. But he is a top 5 in a leaderboard machine. So I think it's a good spot to take Tommy when you're getting 1-1 on your money.
And the last one up, Mr. Berger.
Yeah. Listen, Daniel Berger, again, he's another quiet guy who's sneakily having a good season. So he has 8 top 25 this season. He's got a T3 in his last start at the RBC Heritage. He is 14th in the world in scrambling, which for those of you who don't know what scrambling is, means if you miss the green and you're chipping for birdie, he gets it up and down 14th best in the entire world.
Scrambling is only if you miss the green. It's not if you miss the fairway as well.
No, it's only if you miss the green.
Didn't know that.
And then he's 23rd in the world in bogey avoidance. So, scrambling and bogey avoidance means he's not losing a lot of shots to the field. I think it's a good spot to take Danny. I see you have him as minus 105. I think on FanDuel I got him at plus 130. So
I just put whatever bet 365. I didn't.
Definitely shop around because you can get Daniel Berger at a pretty good plus. And I'm actually, if you are using FanDuel, my bonus bet this week is Daniel Berger. FanDuel offers groups. So Daniel Berger in his group is plus 360 to win his group. I think that's the play of the week for me.
Play of the week.
He's going against Keegan Bradley, Shane Lowry, Matsuyama, and Russell Henley. Everybody in that group actually is plus 300, but I really like Berger here. I think he's in a great spot, and the group that he's in, I think, is probably the weakest group that's out there.
All right, maybe I'll play on Berger, and then of course I'll play Corey Connors because
of course,
man, it's automatic.
Yeah, I mean the Canadian workhorse, as we like to call him.
All right. Enjoy your night. Everyone, thanks for watching. Bet responsibly. Hit me up in the Discord if you need me.